Hi guys, I'm here with Hungry Girl herself, Lillian.
Lillian. Wow.
Who's the one person you talk to every single day? That would be my husband.
Hungry girl herself, Lillian.
This has paper on it.
Yeah, you can't eat the paper.
Nope.
Now these are
But
made
you can
with.
touch them with your hands.
That is true.
Now you cook at home a lot for that gorgeous husband of yours, Dan, right?
Do I cook a lot?
Do you help?
Exactly.
Does he help in the kitchen?
He does, and you know what? He loves to cook, and he's really great. He loves Hungry Girl recipes.
I've got a new video for you guys because we have been talking about Dan Schneider on my channel, and as you guys know, he is a former producer, director, and writer from Nickelodeon who was known for doing creepy things during his time working there. But he was let go in 2018 after years of accusations, and while a lot of people have talked about those accusations, no one has really talked about his wife before. Her name is Lillian, aka Hungry Girl, and she has been married to Dan for almost 20 years. A lot of people question how she could be married to such a horrific man. So today we're going to talk about who she is and why she is married to this monster, Dan Schneider. So let's get into it. So like I said, we have been talking about Dan Schneider on my channel because he is a famous former producer from Nickelodeon who created a ton of iconic TV shows that we grew up watching, and it's heartbreaking to know that this man was actually a creep and did horrible things to these kids the entire time.
Give up the juice.
But who was with him along for the ride? His wife, Lillian, and I think it's important to understand who she is because their relationship is really off the radar, and I find that part really interesting. This woman has been involved with Nickelodeon, and she has a brand of her own, Hungry Girl, but today I want to start from beginning to end and talk about her life and some of the problematic things that she has done in her own career and some of those creepazoids that she worked with at Nickelodeon who were committing crimes. Lillian is currently 55 years old, and she is from Long Island, New York. She actually identifies as a nice Jewish girl from Long Island, and that's how she described herself in one of her 14 cookbooks. Yes, 14 cookbooks. This woman has been pumping out cookbooks since 2004 when she started her brand, Hungry Girl. But before creating Hungry Girl, Lisa was an online executive producer for TV Land and a director for Nickelodeon Online. After 5 years, she moved on and became a producer for new media at Telepictures, and then after her career there, she quit her job and started Hungry Girl in 2004. 2 years before starting her Hungry Girl brand, she married Dan Schneider in 2002 after meeting him at Nickelodeon in the 1990s. Thankfully, the couple do not have any children, but that doesn't stop them from being very problematic.
I'm here with Hungry Girl herself, Lillian. Hi Lisa.
Hi, Piper. How are you?
Great, how are you?
I'm great.
I'm so excited to be here with you today.
Not as excited as I am to be here with you today, Piper.
I'm more excited.
Uh-huh. Let's fight about it.
Like I've mentioned, she created her brand Hungry Girl, and that's been a big success for her. Her net worth is about $11 million, and she really made a lot of that money off of this brand because it has skyrocketed and been really great for her. I honestly think that's one of the reasons why she doesn't identify herself as like Dan Schneider's wife, even though it does creep up all the time when she's doing media appearances, because it's not a good look for her or her brand. So this is the Hungry Girl website where Lisa has a bunch of her recipes and books and things like that listed. She describes herself as a foodologist because she has no nutritional background or education. She has her bachelor's in communication, but yeah, that's pretty much it. She also calls herself a mad scientist in the kitchen because she pretty much just throws things together. A lot of people question her cooking ability because she's very much like Sandra Lee.
What is that one recipe that most popular and that people come up to you and always ask you how to make it?
What, is it the pumpkin and cake mix?
Is that it?
That's it. It's 2 ingredients. It's a can of pumpkin and a box of cake mix.
Let's just say that Lisa Lillian is no Chef Ramsay, and she's not chefing it up like that. But she has had a ton of success, like I said, and she's done a bunch of media. I'm sure having the connections to a bunch of TV execs probably helps because she doesn't really have any cooking talent. And a lot of people question her calorie counts because she claims that her recipes are low calorie, but some people have done the math and it doesn't seem to add up. She is active on social media. She has a YouTube channel with close to 20,000 subscribers where she posts almost like, not daily, twice a week, I would say, maybe 3 times a week sometimes. And they're just kind of random recipes. Like this one is a smoothie.
Low-calorie and super popular Starbucks drink in your own home.
So a lot of the stuff she does nowadays seems to be low-key, and honestly I've noticed since the whole 2018 situation where Dan was let go, her media appearances really dropped off, and she hasn't released any books. Like I said earlier, she has dropped 14 books before, so this woman has made a profit off of food, and she's appeared on a ton of media and TV shows and Food Network and everything you can think of. Lisa, or should I say Miss Schneider, is also on Twitter where she isn't too active because I actually noticed a lot of people were tweeting nasty things in reply to her, as they should because her husband is a creep. But she's also active on Instagram where she posts quite often along with her TikTok, just basic food content, which is probably great for her because you can avoid all those tough questions about her real life involving her husband. But I did find this one post on her page where she posted some really gross looking pasta and she captioned it, "Surprising Dan with, quote, divorce pasta tonight. Wish me luck." I'm sure the pasta tasted good, but the picture is foul, and I don't know what divorce pasta is. I went on Google to see if this is a thing, like is there a divorce pasta recipes? So is this low-key a hint back in 2012, 10 years after being married, she wanted to serve him with divorce pasta? Even people in the comments are confused. So I don't know what's going on here. She claims to talk to him every single day, so they must be really close.
Who's the one person you talk to every single day? That would be my husband.
And actually, speaking of her Twitter, remember that one time Dan tweeted out that really gross, creepy tweet out at her? He literally posted, "Do you want to go for a drive? Do you want to go into our room and watch Too Cute? We have 4 on DVR. I'll rub your feet." And he's posting that publicly to his wife, and I just feel like, oh gosh, she must love the foot stuff too because he's obviously very obsessed with feet. So your girl Lisa must be on board. Also, that movie Too Cute is like a child's dog movie. Is that, am I just is that correct? Am I reading this correctly? Who is this creepy man who wants to watch a child's dog movie and rub her feet and just ew? Dan Schneider is so gross. And I find it kind of ironic that he's not the most healthiest man and she's a low calorie chef. But let's talk a little bit more about Lisa's career because she has had some rocky moments, and I'm talking about the Tyra Banks show. If you guys didn't know, you're about to learn because this is crazy. So Lisa Lillian was on the Tyra Banks show with Patti LaBelle, and during their little cooking segment, it got really awkward because Lisa was saying some inappropriate things, kind of talking down to Patti, insinuating Patti would eat the paper, which is obviously really basic, but just watch how cringe this moment is.
There's paper on it. Yeah, you can't eat the paper. No. Now these are made with. Touch them with your hands. That is true. 2 kinds of cake mix, and also one of the little secrets I use diet hot cocoa.
You can eat the paper.
Packets to make to really amp up the chocolate flavor.
Diet hot cocoa. What's that over there?
She's funny. Oh,
Yeah, what makes you think I could eat the paper, baby?
no paper. Paper bag. Good.
Okay, next.
You're the one that wanted to eat the paper.
I didn't want to eat the paper. What's wrong with
This is so awkward.
The frosting is made out of that cream, that marshmallow cream, which is also a great ingredient, and that cream. Okay. Must everything be a contest? Are you okay?
Girl, yeah, but I don't eat paper. I just made sure my hands were clean, and when I said to the audience, "This is paper,"
Yes.
Oh my
I meant that
gosh.
I'm not touching the actual cupcake, boo.
I see.
Obviously, that was really hard to watch, and if you didn't get what was going on, pretty much Patti picked it up and I guess talked about the paper being on it, just, you know, being, you know, like, hold up, my hands are clean and there's paper, so I'm not just touching the food. And she's like, you know, you don't need to eat the paper. And she's like, of course I'm not going to. And Patti was like rolling her eyes really hard because of course I'm not going to eat the paper. And the entire time I found it weird that she's like turned towards Tyra, like not even really looking at Patti until the end. And then she's like, paper bad, like, or don't eat paper.
No paper. Paper bad, cake good.
Paper bad, cake good. I'm just like, okay, why are you talking down to Patti LaBelle? I'm so glad she was checking you during that segment. And it's hilarious because a lot of people don't know who she is, like Lisa, and they don't understand like that she was part of this segment back in the day, because this segment was actually recently referenced. SNL did a parody of that moment this year in March, and you could even see The Hungry Divorcee is the title of the book. They're definitely making fun of what is going on in that set. There's a man playing Lisa's role, of course, but they're getting to the same point. So I don't know how much I can actually play for you guys, but let's go to the part that definitely is about this situation.
Okay, these are so cute. Thank you.
Oh no.
Eat this in one bite.
Well, don't eat the foil.
What?
The aluminium foil. Just don't eat the foil.
So you can see he's like, don't eat the foil, pretty much like don't eat the paper, the same thing she said to Patti LaBelle. Again, I'm sorry I'm pausing, you can go look this up if you want to, I'll link it below, but I don't want to get copyrighted by SNL.
I don't want to eat the foil.
Okay. I'm making sure.
Don't eat the foil.
She's like, yeah, of course. Like, how dumb do you think I am? And I feel like that just speaks to how Lisa talks down to people. Probably like Dan, they think they're above people. As I was watching interviews of Lisa, I was actually bothered by some of the lies she would tell. I don't know if they're lies, but like in one segment, she's like, oh, I don't cook for my husband.
I know you have a family and a husband and stuff, but
Yes.
you cook for your dog?
I do. Don't tell my husband I cook for the dog, because I don't cook for him. But yes, I have a dog named Lolly who has a Facebook page with like 15,000 fans. And
Okay,
she's awesome, and I make recipes for her.
Claiming she just cooks for her dog. Like, what are you talking about here? And then later on, there was this shady moment. Oh my gosh, this shady moment where literally the lady says, oh, you know what? Do you ever cook for your gorgeous husband, Dan? And I was like, holy crap, she's so shady. And, you know, Lisa kind of bypasses that question and talks about how Dan is in the kitchen with her, like, at the same time, and they're cooking together, but it really just doesn't add up, and I'll talk about why these bother me in a second.
Onion powder, get that in there.
Now, you cook at
Just
home a lot for
whisk it
that
up.
gorgeous husband of yours, Dan, right?
Do I cook a lot?
Do you
yes,
help?
Exactly.
Does he help in the kitchen?
He does, and you know what? He loves to cook, and he's really great, and he loves Hungry Girl recipes.
Oh my gosh, though, wasn't that so shady? I was like, this shade, but also facts, because this woman is just not really that great. I feel like she's probably being forced onto these shows because of her connection with Dan. And like I mentioned earlier, their relationship seems to be very off the radar. There aren't a lot of pictures. She didn't take his last name. It wasn't like she was a celebrity before, and her, like, famous name is Hungry Girl, so I really don't understand why they don't really claim each other, but I think it's because of Dan's disgusting reputation and the fact that he has done gross things to a bunch of girls. But one thing that bothers me about Hungry Girl's cooking is that a lot of her recipes are supposed to be low calorie.
I want you to reveal the calorie counts for the little tiny pork slider.
395 calories
3.5 grams of fat
for one of those.
For one of those. Now, my version, I think you should clap for this. Woo! Again, a fraction of the sugar. I lighten this up by only using light mayo, and instead of frying them, they're baked. They're crispy, crunchy, and delicious. And my calorie counts, 165 calories and 4 grams of fat.
So you can eat 2 of these for less than 1 of those.
Yeah.
But I read online that a lot of people found that her recipes really aren't low calorie and just are different versions of food just made in different ways. And a lot of the time she uses processed food, and it's not very fresh or chef-like. It's almost like she's a BS chef, which is honestly great for a lot of people because you can just throw together canned meals and things like that. But it does become problematic when you claim your recipes are a lot less calories than they are because people aren't losing the weight that you suggested they would.
This is my 9th book, but my other books are typically recipe books, and this is the very first diet book that I have put out. Now this is a 4-week weight loss plan that will be great for anyone who wants to lose weight, okay, no matter what. I like big portions. This book allows you to eat big portions.
So maybe she does know what she's talking about. Hopefully she has a whole team of scientists, because a foodologist, like you described, doesn't have an education in nutrition. And there's a difference between being like a fun chef and being someone who, you know, is a nutritionist and is providing weight loss tips. But I do find it interesting that she was able to create a career out of nothing, because before this, she was doing TV work on Nickelodeon and things on magazines and stuff like that. So this $11 million hungry girl, you know, fortune that she has made is really just quite random. And I feel like she got a lot of support from her past on television to get her company out there and to market it effectively. That's great for her or whatever, but the problem I have is that she's working with a bunch of criminals. She worked at Nickelodeon for a long time, and I want to talk a little bit about those problematic employees from Nickelodeon, because I've got a video coming soon, but I just want to run down some of the people who were employed with this woman, Lisa, and with her husband, Dan, and they have been charged with crimes, and it just makes me think that these people are just the top tier, so they're protected, yet everyone else has gotten in trouble, and it just doesn't matter because they're regular people, and these people can't pay their way out of it like Lisa and Dan could. I don't know if Lisa's doing anything, but she's definitely allowing it to happen, because how can you just sit here and allow your mans to be the biggest creepazoid like ever? Let's talk about some of those other employees from Nickelodeon who have been charged with crimes, and who I will talk about later in a bigger video. As you guys know, I'm doing a Dan series. Today we're talking about his wife. I've got a video about his history coming soon. I've got a video about his relationship with Ariana coming soon, and I've got a video about his insensitivity towards race, because you know I can't say the ism word on the internet or on YouTube at least. But yeah, so let's talk about some of those gross employees who have been charged in the past, and I feel like their behavior is reflective of what's going on at Nickelodeon. Again, certain words I can't say on the internet, but this man named John K, I'm not even going to try to pronounce his last name. He was the creator of the Ren and Stimpy show, was accused by 2 women of hurting them physically, like touching them inappropriately, when they were in their teens, and he admitted to dating underage girls at some point, which again, not allowed, yet he is a representative of Nickelodeon. The Loud House creator, Chris Savino, was fired by the network in 2017 after a bunch of allegations came out by dozens of women that he was bothering them verbally and physically, and at that point they needed to fire him because he was such a problem, and dozens of women had to step forward for something to happen. Martin West is a talent agent who worked for both Nickelodeon and Disney. A lot of people are like, oh, you're going for Nickelodeon a ton, but don't worry, I'm coming for Disney too. They're next after Nickelodeon. But anyways, he pled no contest to 2 charges of oral on a child under 14 after one of his clients told the police that he had been, oh my gosh, hurt by him 30 to 40 times over a 2-year period beginning when the child was 11 years old. So this man has done gross things to this young boy, and I'm sure other boys too, but this one stepped forward and called him out on it. Oh gosh, it's actually really hard for me to read this stuff. It's just, Another Nickelodeon employee, a production assistant named Jason Michael Handy, used his position to get the email addresses and phone numbers of children on set and began to do some really disgusting things to 2 young girls. Per LA Times reporting, quote, court testimony revealed that during the taping of the TV series Cousin Skeeter, this man, Jason, befriended a 9-year-old girl and began visiting her at her home on one occasion while playing video games in her bedroom, and he was known for kissing her, and ew, there was photos exchanged and emails, and gross. So that man, gosh, 1 in a dozen, there's a ton of them. One guy, Edsel Ethan Channel, a temporary production assistant, so he wasn't even there long, but he was in the animation studio, was arrested for physically touching a 14-year-old boy after inviting him on a tour of the studio, literally using his position and his power at Nickelodeon, like so many, to take advantage of these children because they don't know what's best. Like, this is a crew of corrupt people over here in Hollywood. And finally, I want to bring up Brian Peck. We all know who this man is because he was arrested before, and he was known for hosting those swimming pool get-togethers with Dan Schneider where they would recruit children without their parents and bathing bathing suits and pick who was the best one for the next TV show. This man actually served time, and then after he served time, he went back to work at Nickelodeon on Zack and Cody, which again, why? Who would rehire him? Of course, Nickelodeon would. He worked as the dialogue coach, and the amount of crimes listed under his name, you guys need to Google them because they are so descriptive. I cannot tell you in detail, but they are so foul, and it reminds me that these people aren't only like physically hurting and doing things to these children, they are torturing them. They are literally torturing them and making them work as children, as stars, and that's why so many of them are so messed up nowadays. And I'm just wrapping it back up. This woman, Lisa, is one of these people who have sat on the sidelines. And I just have to say, she has to be fully aware of what's going on here. She is not an idiot. She is an entrepreneur, and she has made a huge business. And I think there is a reason why she's disconnected herself from her husband, because she knows that he is toxic, along with Nickelodeon and so many of these creeps. If you guys want me to make a specific video about all of those men and their crimes in detail, I've even thought about doing maybe a podcast where I can talk about the crimes because they are just so brutal, and crimes in general. But what do you guys think about that? Leave a comment below. More Dan videos coming. I'm not going to just forget about this. I'm just doing a bunch of research, and I was going to do one about Dan's entire life and include this about his wife, but there's just so much on her that I wanted to make her own video for you guys because there isn't one online. I want people to know who the real hungry girl is. Who is Lisa Lillian? Because she is married to a monster in Hollywood who has done so much damage, and she needs to be held accountable along with him and anyone else who allowed this to happen. But comment below what you guys think, and check me out on Instagram at SL04N. Thank you so much for supporting and watching this series, and I will see you guys again soon. Bye guys.